Hi, everyone. It's a wonderful opportunity to be here to share with us today. And I will be speaking on the topic STEAM, educating the 21st century citizen. STEAM, educating the 21st century citizen. My name is OMOTAYO OLORUNFEMI. I am a learning scientist. I'm a learning engineer, very passionate about the education space, and I currently work with Data Science Nigeria as a learning community operations manager. One of what I do in my capacity is to help drive learning in all of our communities that we have in over 10 countries in Africa. Today, I'll be speaking on the topic STEAM, educating the 21st century citizen. Now, I want you to imagine a world where everyone, and I mean everyone is imaginative, everyone solves a problem or solves problems, everyone is creative, everyone can think critically, everyone creates innovative solutions, everyone makes a difference in their communities. Now, just take a pause and imagine such a world. How will that world look like? This is the kind of world that we seek. This is the kind of world that we are very interested in. And I want to show you how we could make this possible, or how we can drive and ensure that we get to near 100% positive or 100% possibility. This can be made through by what we call STEAM education. Now, over the years, I believe you may have been familiar with the concept of STEM education. A lot of people are very familiar with STEM education, but after STEM education, we had STEAM education. And even today, we're beginning to hear about stream education. Yes, you had me right, stream with R, stream education. But today we're going to be focusing on STEAM education. And within the very next few minutes, I'm going to be speaking to us about the possibilities that STEAM education can enable in our classroom if we will make this a practice in our classrooms. And by classroom, I also mean even in lecture halls, everywhere where teaching and learning takes place, in whichever capacity they are taking place. If we can foster STEAM education, it will really help us get to where we need to get to in the 21st century as a country, as a nation, and as a people. Now, what is STEAM education? The S stands for science, speaking to the nature of the universe, where everything comes from. The T stands for technology. So science and technology, and for technology, we mean the tools, the innovative devices, the innovative approaches that helps us and enhances our ability to deliver at scale and in time. So science and technology interpreted through engineering. That's the E. The E there stands for what? Engineering, which talks to purposeful innovation, analysis, creation. The fundamentals and the foundation of engineering is all about creating, making things. So science and technology interpreted through engineering, arts, the arts, that's the A. A stands for arts, and art speaks to humanities. Over time, this was the missing component in STEM education. The arts, because now art speaks to the creativity, the imagination, the ability to express ourselves. So science and technology interpreted through engineering, arts, and lastly, mathematics, that is based in mathematics. Mathematics is the fundamental. Mathematics is the fulcrum. Mathematics is the basis on which everything is built upon. Now, why is STEAM education very important at a time like this? We live in the 21st century where we are currently in a changing world. The world is changing. The world is changing very critically. The world is changing very dramatically. The world is changing at a very accelerated rate. What we know today, in the next 2-3 months, it's become obsolete. In fact, any body of knowledge you have today, in the next 6 months, it is obsolete, because there must be something else that will have been discovered about that knowledge that will have made everything you think you know become obsolete. So how then do we raise learners? How do we raise people? How do we raise citizens that are made ready and are responsible and relevant in the 21st century because of this changing world? That is where you have STEAM. Number 2, interdisciplinary learning. Now, the idea around interdisciplinary learning, it's not learning in silos. That is where you just learn and you focus on just one concept. No, interdisciplinary learning fosters synergy. It fosters collaboration. So if we use a traditional classroom setting, you can see the linkage between mathematics and English and civic education and even concepts like climate change. You can see how all of this comes together and you can synergize them together. That's part of what STEAM education makes possible. Number 3, fostering 21st century skills. The 21st century skills are the skills that citizens will need in the 21st century for them to remain competitive and relevant. Skills like critical thinking, creativity, innovation, problem solving. These are skill sets that, even though we may not know what the citizens of the future, the jobs that they will do that do not exist yet, but we know that once they have this 21st century skill sets, it will become possible for them to be able to fit into the changing world. Number 4, real world application. One of the beauty of STEAM education is that there's no abstractness in learning. Learning is contextualized. Learning is made real. So you leverage real world problems. So you leverage STEAM education to solve real world problems linked to whatever are the disciplines, the subject areas, or whatever it is learners are learning. And then number 5 is STEAM education enables citizens to become global citizens. Global citizens from the angle of the world is currently a global village. And the world being a global village means that everyone, irrespective of where you are situated in the world, must be able to compete and compete favorably at the global stage. So that is why STEAM education is very critical. It helps citizens to embrace the future. It makes them ready for the future. So with this understanding, how then do we integrate STEAM education into learning experiences, into learning engagement, into how citizens are being groomed and developed? Number 1, we need to invest in our teachers. And by teachers, again, I need to say, not just the traditional teacher in the nursery, primary, secondary school, but even the lecturers, everyone who is responsible for educating the future. We need to invest in them, because until they have the requisite capacity to be able to deliver contextually with the knowledge and understanding of STEAM education, it will be difficult for us to achieve the desired goals. So we need to invest in our educators very urgently. We need to invest in them. Number 2, we need to create supportive learning environments that are made ready for learning, adequately facilitated with the necessary tools and all that is needed for effective teaching and learning to take place, environments that learners are willing to come to. We need to create supportive learning environment. Number 3, we need to turn our classrooms, we need to turn our lecture halls, we need to turn all of these halls, we need to turn them to become maker spaces. Maker spaces are where learners learn hands-on. They learn by doing. They practice project-based learning. They learn by doing. So we need to turn our classrooms to become maker spaces where learners can tinker with ideas, they can tinker with things, and they can create something. Number 4, we need to focus on authentic assessment. Not assessment because of grade, but assessment because of learning process and improvements that is actually happening as the citizens and the learners are engaging with learning experiences. And then lastly, we need to make learning to evoke curiosity, interest, and fascination. No, but it's difficult to push another to learn. The easiest way for learning to happen is when there's intrinsic motivation coming from within the learner. And this can only happen when learning is made curious, when learning is made interesting, and when learning is made fascinating. Finally, from me, I want to say to us that it is time to invest in our students' future. It is time to invest in the future of all of our learners and ensure they have the skills and the knowledge they need to thrive in the 21st century. I want to make a clarion call for everyone who is responsible for this in one way or the other. Join me and let's make STEAM education a priority for all learners. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the time and the space to speak to us on this topic. Thank you very much.